Hi guys, so as it is the end of the month, I'm here with monthly reading wrap up, and that's Shiba. The first book that I read this year was, so this is the only time that I can actually say that, the first book of the year, because the rest of the year is gonna be, well, the first book of the month. So the first book that I read this year was The Women by Kristen Hanna. This book is brilliant. This book is a historical fiction and is about inners who served the US Army in Vietnam War. So obviously it cannot go wrong. The best thing about this book is that it shows how the contribution of a lot of war veterans was not acknowledged, especially that of the women who served in Vietnam. This book is a straight 5-star read. If you love historical fiction and if you are remotely interested in the Vietnam War, then do check out this book. It's amazing. The second book that I read was We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver. This book is insanely good. If you love horror fiction, then you have to check out this book. This book has insane psychological horror, thriller, suspense elements, and this book literally gave me the chills. The audiobook of this book is so well narrated that it literally gave me goosebumps, and I was actually scared when I was alone in the house. So this book is insanely good, and if you love horror, psychological thriller fiction, then you must read it. The next book that I read was The Exorcist's House by Nick Roberts. This book is a mild horror fiction and is good for people who get scared pretty easy, but if you're a thorough horror fan, then I would skip this one. The concept is not that new, but I did like the atmosphere that the author built up, although I did have a problem with the characters because I was not able to connect to them. So I do feel that the characterization and the concept itself could have been a little bit better, but it still served as a good read. So from my side, it would be a solid 3 stars. Check it out if you are okay with mild horror fiction. The next book that I read is a super solid 5-star. It is Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. Josh Malerman is a very well-known author of The Bird Box. Yes, the same Bird Box that was adapted into a movie which starred Sandra Bullock. So Josh Malerman is already a very established name in the psychological horror genre. So I had a lot of expectations from this book, and this book did not disappoint. In fact, the audiobook of this book was so insanely scary that I was scared to listen to it when I was alone. If you scare easy, then stay away from this book. Stay away from the audiobook of this book. This book's narrator has narrated the book in the voice of a little girl, and it is superbly creepy, but in the most amazing of the ways. So if you love solid, strong horror books with amazing plots and that can have sad endings, then do check out this book. Do check out the audiobook of this book because the narration is superb. The next book that I read was The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, and let me tell you, going into this book, I thought that I knew who the killer was going to be. Okay, spoiler alert. But it is not the boyfriend. Okay, so the ending is super unpredictable. It actually made me laugh because it was right there in front of me, but still I was not able to see it. So there, Frida McFadden won. But I'll tell you what, this is the quality because of which Frida McFadden has reached where she is and has made such a big name, such a good name for herself in thriller genre. She has the capability to surprise her readers, even if the book literally for like 90% of the time seems like just another thriller novel. But in the end, she always surprises. So do check out this book, The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. For me, it was a solid 4-star. It's a good thriller. It's nice. And you can pick it up without being scared. The next book that I read is again a solid 5 stars for me. Bear Town by Frederick Backman. This book is completely next level. Bear Town by Frederick Bachman is, I'm speechless. It is such a beautiful, amazing, lovely, surprising, scary, even touching, emotional, insane read. This book literally made me feel each and every single emotion. This book has amazing characterization. It has amazing plot. It's, in fact, the writing is so good that if you want to mark quotes in this book, you will literally be highlighting every single line. This book is amazing and it is for everyone, even if you are not into the sport ice hockey, even though the book is literally about ice hockey. But this book is amazing, and if you want to read one book this year, then make it Bear Down. The next book that I read is Abandoned by Blake Crouch. Just to give you a background, I am a huge Blake Crouch fan. And no, it is not because of the book Dark Matter or Recursion. It is because of his series Wayward Pines. I absolutely love that series. I have already read that series twice and I'm absolutely in love with Wayward Pines series. Dark Matter is also good and I really loved it, but Wayward Pines is just something else. So I picked up Abandon in the hopes of reading about a town that literally vanished with its town people. But and I knew that given that it was Blake Crouch's book, it will have some really amazing concept. The book did have good concept, but it failed to amaze me as much as Wayward Pines did. I really doubt that anything else in the world is ever going to be amazing me as much as Wayward Pines did. So if you want to read one good series this year, make it Wayward Pines. But coming back to Abandon, Abandon is a 3-star read for me. In Abandon, the starting was good, the build-up was amazing, the ending was excellent, but the main problem I had with the book was the pacing. The book felt so insanely drawn out that at times I literally skipped 30 seconds of audio because I just wanted to know what the hell was really going on. So it's a 3-star read for me, but if you don't mind a bit slow-paced thriller, then you might like this book. But again, if you want to check out a good series or a good book, then check out Wayward Pines. Another book that I am still reading, have not finished, and I've actually started reading it at the start of the month, is You Like It Darker by Stephen King. And even though it's a collection of short stories, I liked a couple of them. I'm not liking some of them, which is generally the case with Stephen King short stories. But I'm not liking the book enough to be reading it too quickly. And I really hate the fact that I'm not in too much into the book because I have 2 copies of the book. So I actually bought them by mistake. Instead of buying one book, I bought 2 books. So I was actually thinking of doing a giveaway for this book, but I considered keeping both the copies of the book because it is by Stephen King. So if I absolutely love the book, and I'm not absolutely loving the book, this is something that I use as a compass for myself. If I'm not finishing a book in a week, then there's something wrong with the book. This is kind of an inside compass that I have for books. Still, I'm trying to finish it, but I'll talk about it whenever I finish it. So far, I'm not liking it. The other book that I've just started listening to is Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister, and this book is promising so far. I still have 8 hours left of this book. So these are the books that I read in January, and I'm really glad because I started off my year reading so many 5-star books. These are the books that I read. Do let me know what all you read, and do let me know if you've read any of the books that I've read this month and what do you think about it, especially about Bear Town and Incidents Around the House and We Used to Live Here. So I'll see you all in my next video. Till then, bye-bye.